All right, how about the Houston Texans? Well, I guess we got to figure out who quarterback 2 is. It's definitely Davis Mills over Case Keenum because he played in this game. CJ Stroud was so good, Texans so good. They ended up putting in their backups in a playoff game. You almost never see that. Absolute domination by Houston in this one. And it was competitive for a while, right? It wasn't a wire-to-wire blowout. But one thing that did happen wire to wire was CJ Stroud's excellence in this game. He was nearly perfect throughout. Let's talk about the, maybe 1 or 2 nitpicks I have, but mostly just all the good stuff he did in this game. Let's start off with this play, because I think this play will do a good job at showing really kind of the main thing that Houston was doing in this one, where the way this play is going to work is it's zone coverage that Cleveland is in, and they have a concept designed to beat this coverage. Houston was doing a really good job, I thought, in this game of scheming up stuff that, can get guys open. The Browns, they like to play this coverage a good amount, and so, Houston kind of game planning around it. They have a receiver running a deeper route kind of going over the middle, and then John Mechie is going to kind of run his route in a way where he starts off going towards the sideline, but then eventually goes deeper down the field. The idea is that, attention gets brought on the first route, and then Mechie, hopefully, no one picks him up right away. Eventually, someone picks him up, and then, you get a mismatch. Maybe a linebacker's on him or a slot corner or something like that down the field. That's what you're trying to do here. Stroud takes a snap. He actually looks towards his left right away, but I think he was always planning on throwing towards his right, and you see just no one picked up Mechie. So this is a lot of how I would describe some of these plays by Houston, was them coming up with good schemes, the Houston players, running them well, and also the, getting time to block, Stroud, reading the plays well, all of that good stuff, but also Cleveland just not picking up on some concepts that, to be quite honest, they should be picking up on. As you see, Stroud's throw is able to hit Mechie on that one. Stroud was hit as he was thrown too, still able to get it down there. So good stuff by him. Really good stuff by Mechie, which, I don't know, I just think it's cool to see John Mechie doing some stuff. If all he's been through this past, couple of years, cool to see him be able to make plays like that. So that's fun. But just, this is what's going right for Houston and going wrong for Cleveland. And even like this one, which is less kind of obvious, where, you have, so it's cover 2 man that Cleveland is in. It's a third down situation. And really, cover 2 man is one of the most difficult coverages to throw off of, throw against, because, you're going to have somebody on everybody, not to mention 2 safeties deep. Usually this is, a coverage you can run against, but they feel like they're, if the Texans do run, Cleveland feels like someone will come up and make a play. So that's why they're running this coverage in this situation. You see that route on the screen. That's Robert Woods' route, and it's going to be a deeper route over the middle, and so the safety is going to be focused on him. But that is Nico Collins' route, and I'm sorry, sometimes you got to care less about the route and more about the player, right? What's the number on the back of the jersey or the front of the jersey, which is where you would read it if you're the safety, and Nico Collins is the receiver closer towards the sideline. I'm sorry, he's the guy you have to pay attention to. You don't need the double Robert Woods. If you can't cover Robert Woods one-on-one, you're probably not winning this game, but you probably can't cover Collins one-on-one, so go over and help. Instead, Stroud takes the snap, and actually did some good stuff. Collins first lined up on this play as a slot defender, and so they had a slot corner on him, which is another critique I always have, which is, hey, if it's man coverage, or really if it's whatever coverage it is, put your best player on their best player. Don't worry about the whole, slot, let's get a slot corner. None of that. I want my best corner on Collins. They don't have that. They don't have safety help. As you see, Stroud, as getting hit, is able to get the ball down there. If he wasn't getting hit, that's probably a touchdown, but still was able to set up a touchdown. They scored a touchdown shortly after there. Really good stuff by CJ Stroud. There was also one like this, which, we got to talk about this one as well. We can't just talk about the positives, have to talk about the negatives, and this one was interesting. So it's a 3rd down and 13 situation here for Houston. Watch what happens. Stroud takes the snap, and again, we're going to have, really, this is just a straight-up blown coverage, I'm pretty sure, because you see down the field, I mean, look at how open you have a player right here. This is, crazy. I believe this is Nico Collins on this one, and watch what happens. You see Collins kind of slips up a little bit. The throw is, I don't know, maybe it's a touch too far, but I actually don't know if it is. If Collins doesn't slip up a little bit like that, I mean, that's probably a touchdown. So they had to punt. There was another 7 points just left on the table right there. So, as crazy as, 24 points in the first half. It could have been 31 had they just made that one pass. Again, situations do change if that happens, but I still think everything else seems like it would have gone well. The point is, they weren't even playing their best football to put up that kind of points. Like this one's another one where, so it's a 2nd down and 20 situation. If you're Cleveland, you're thinking, okay, no big deal. Hey, only down 3 at this point, 2nd down and 20. Let's just, force them to a field goal, maybe a long field goal attempt. But even if they kick the field goal, 6-point game, we're good. And the concept here, again, it's one of those things where it's like, this is what you usually see all the time against the cover 3 zone, or what teams try to do to beat cover 3 zone. Have a receiver run kind of a deeper route over the middle. Another receiver is going to run more of a shallower route over the middle. Essentially, the deeper route pushes the safety and corner further deep. You also run a play action, try to get linebackers out of the way, and usually that over the middle kind of shallower route, that's the one that can be open. Watch as when Stroud runs this play action, he is going to look deep down the field and says, wait a second, they never picked up Dalton Schultz on this play. And in fairness, really clever design by Houston, I think, because usually you have a receiver run the deep route on this one, and then you have the the tight end kind of run more over the middle. That's usually how you do things. So kind of clever reversing that a little bit, but still, I mean, again, it's a thing. Clever concept. Also, Cleveland has to stop this. But also, Stroud makes the throw and, Schultz makes the catch. At the end of the day, the players are the ones playing. They're the ones who have to make the plays, and that's exactly what happened on this play. And even something like this, like, listen, the game was pretty much over at this point, but still, hey, it's still an impressive play and kind of just funny because, I mentioned it earlier in my video, hey, if Robert Woods is beating you one-on-one, you're probably not winning. Well, 3rd down and 4, Robert Woods one-on-one against Greg Newsome. Watch as Stroud takes the snap. It's a heavy blitz here from Houston, but you see that it's okay because Robert Woods has the inside leverage in this situation. Stroud is able to hit it, and they are able to pick up a 1st down. They would eventually score a touchdown on this drive to make it 45-14, and that is when Stroud would leave the game, and the Texans would go on to win the football game, obviously, in pretty massive fashion. So, I mean, listen, quite frankly, the Houston Texans are a team that you don't want to play against at this point, right? They have a red-hot quarterback. They have a defense that just had back-to-back pick sixes along with really shutting down the Browns offense that, did kind of light them up earlier in the year. So give them credit for bouncing back like that. And just in general, this is a team that you don't want to play right now. There's no getting around it. For me personally, I bet against the Houston Texans in this game. Not literally, but I picked the Browns to win. I thought the Browns defense was too good, and Stroud came in and lit them up. I mean, that's how crazy this was. And so, I thought, I don't know, Houston has some injuries. Can they do it? I think if anyone's still saying that after this week, you're just not paying attention. I'm a full believer now, and again, they're going to have a tough matchup. We don't know exactly who they will play, and we won't know until after Monday night who they will play, but still, it's going to be a tough matchup, but I certainly think that they will be up to the task regardless of who they end up playing. But that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.